Someone asked me, what would you do if you weren't an actor? If you didn't make it as an actor, what would you do? I have no idea. I would act somewhere. Maybe I'd be driving a cab, maybe I'm working somebody's yard. Whatever I'm doing, I'm going to belong to somebody's little theater group. I will act, because I'll die if I don't. There's no way to ever tell what's going to be successful, because you have to wait till an audience says it's successful. I went to the movies all the time. I pretty much lived in the movies whenever I had spare time, or Forever 13 cents. And on that period, we were refighting World War II. So, yes, I decided by age 15 that I wanted to be a jet pilot, because I got in a lot of trouble in school flying. Teachers droning on, and I'm climbing up 15,000 feet. And then I went into the Air Force because I really did want to fly, and it was the quickest ticket out of Mississippi to elsewhere in the world. And I learned very quickly that that wasn't going to happen. I was not going to be a jet pilot, and that I was not cut out for the military. But I still was kind of going for it, and I got to go to the flight line at North Island Naval Air Station down near Coronado, California. And I got to sit in the cockpit of a T-33 jet trainer. Joystick, glass, knobs, dials, things, red button, no camera. This isn't it. That's when I decided acting was going to be it. Never ever considered anything else. Well, once I did, yes. In 1980, December to be exact, I did my last TV movie. I say last TV movie because in 1981, the phone didn't ring. And in 1982, the phone didn't ring. And so I decided long about summer of 1982 that, okay, so your 15 minutes are up. You better start thinking of something else, because I wasn't paying any rent. What else to do? What do I want to do? Could drive a cab. I like driving. Maybe get a chauffeur's license and be more upgrade. And I picked a day that I was going to go to the Taxi and Limousine Commission to try and get my license. And the day before I decided to go, I got a call from my agent. Paul Newman is casting, wants to see you. I go see Paul Newman. I read for a part, and he says, that part is already cast. Dang, wish I'd seen you earlier. So fine, okay, no worries. So Paul is going to be producer, director, and star. And I said, well, you've got a big job ahead of you, and I'm very happy, very glad you let me come in. So I leave, and I'm at the elevator, and he comes running down the hall, and he said, wait, come back. He says, I have another part maybe you would like to do. This guy's name is Simonowski. So I just little role of this factory superintendent, one day shoot. But it's like getting a job is like having money in your pocket. If you got it, you can get it. Strangely enough, so this was in September. By October, I had a TV job, an off-Broadway show. I was directing a play, and I was going to be in January going to do this movie. It was called Harry and Sons. Go figure. So I didn't have to go get a cab job. If you're going to play some living person, or a person who's lived recently enough for us all to know what they sound like and look like, then you have to do some extensive research. I had done a living person once before, a movie called Lean on Me. I played a teacher, a school principal named Joe Clark. And we shot at the school that he was the principal of, and he was there every day. Very incredible man. and I would follow him around and literally hold his hand. That's the energy quotient.
I'm guessing you couldn't do that for Miss Mandela.
Yeah, I did. Anna arranged a meeting with me and Madiba in Joburg, and I met him. I told him how honored I was with the endorsement, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And if I'm going to play you, I have to have access. He said, fine. So I mean, real access. I have to be able to hold your hand. He said, we can do that. So we did. Over years, I would meet him in different places. We met in Monaco, we met in Washington, we met in New York, we even met in Memphis, Tennessee. And each time I was called to his side. I sat with him, walked with him, talked with him, but always watching and listening. And that went on for years. So by the time we got around to doing Invictus, I thought I had just about everything nailed except the sound. Because I don't do accents. I'm not one of those actors who's facile with accents. But I managed to get him out. Someone asked me, what would you do if you weren't an actor? If you didn't make it as an actor, what would you do? I have no idea. I would act somewhere. Maybe I'd be driving a cab, maybe I'm working somebody's yard. Whatever I'm doing, I'm going to belong to somebody's little theater group. I will act, because I'll die if I don't. I think of acting the same way. I don't think of it as an art form, but I do think of it as the same way that any profession. You do it because you have to do it. If you spend 20 years waiting tables, at night, if you were a writer, you're writing. And it's the same thing with any discipline. Painters paint. I don't care what else they have to do to put food on the table or pay the rent, they paint. And I think that's the same way all the way around. The most frustrating moment of my career. Now, there have been a lot of frustrating moments. The most, I have no idea what the most was. I interviewed for Milos Forman for Ragtime, because I read the book. When I read the book, Cold House Walker, that's me. I got that going away. I had just gotten all kinds of accolades for Broadway play that I'd done. I was the talk of the town. Surely you've heard of me, haven't you? So I didn't get the job. And it's just like one of those moments in your life when you realize that, okay, humility still hit with me. I gotta back away. There's no way to ever tell what's going to be successful, because you have to wait till an audience says it's successful. You know, you just go and do your best and enjoy yourself. I'm very, very lucky and very grateful that I had a career. You know, it's like I walk the streets of Los Angeles, you know, and I see people that walk in the streets now, and I think, been there, done that, and you know, you just keep tap dancing. Something good will happen. Don't sit down and say, I can't, because then you can't. So take your time, learn what you're doing, keep moving forward. You know, just keep plugging on this, because this isn't easy work.